Hi everyone, my name is Rosimeire Anjos. I'm an artist and volunteer here at NORVA, and I'm working here since 2017 when I moved from Brazil. And as you can figure out, my accent is different because of my first language, which is Portuguese. And I love drawing, especially portraits, and I'm very excited to share my passion with you. In this second video, we will focus in shading and fine details for your portraits. If you haven't seen the first video, I encourage you to do that because we have some instructions and clues for the supplies and everything we need for this second video. Okay, so let's start now with this front portrait. We're gonna start thinking that this head is like a box. So I'm gonna do first the top line and the bottom line to think like a box, but I should find out how the proportion between the width and the height. So if I get her face and measure, I'm gonna find out that I have this square would be like here, almost 2 times the width. So let's pretend that I'm gonna use this width. So how many? 1 and almost 2, because it's not perfect 2 times, right? So 1. Here is supposed to be the square, the same size, weight, height and width. Make a square here, and I go a little upper because this is basically where the top of the head goes. So in proportion, I could say that I have almost this box. So I told you before that the eyes mostly goes just in the middle, in a halfway of this whole measuring, this whole size. So in this case, if I do this, look at her eyes is a little higher than the middle, because probably the middle is supposed to be here. So her eyes is a little higher than the middle line. So if I do this and this, I would say that here is the middle of the whole rectangle. So in a measuring system, the eye is supposed to be right here in the middle, but as I said, this is just a reference because everyone fit in different measurings. So let's try to have this reference and see how can we do for this portrait. So here, from the nose to the chin, I have this size. From the nose, from the bottom of the nose to the eyebrow, I have here, and goes perfectly to the top of her head. So I'm gonna divide this box in 3 equal parts. Let me see, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. 1, 2. So this line here goes to the bottom of her nose, and this line here goes to her eyebrow. Okay, and here this is the center line, which divide the face in right and left. So let's see where is her mouth. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Her mouth is almost a little higher from the middle of this distance. So if I divide this distance in half, 2 halves, here is supposed to be the half, but I can see that her mouth is a little higher than the middle that's supposed to be here. So her mouth is supposed to be come right here. And so here the nose, which comes from in here, supposed to be the eyebrow. And here is the top of her head. Let's use a way to do this, just making some blocking. I'm gonna just try to find the angles and shape of her head, like it's coming like here. Just use simple lines. This is her head, has basically this shape, and as soon as we're gonna working, we're gonna carve all these lines and bring it to a better shape. So let's place all the filters, but before that we can see that this side of the face is all in a shade, in a dark. So what you're gonna do is just fill the half part of her face shading. As we can see in a picture. So we can see also that here. Okay, this is the nose. Here. I'm gonna add some more details, or as you can see, the edge of the mouth finish almost like here. And if I go up, as I said, the eyes is a little higher than the middle line. So the middle line is supposed to be right here. So the eyes is a little higher. So this one eye, I can see that the pupil and the dark part of her eyes go to this way, this side. Okay. And if you measure this side of the eye, the edge is just, if I line up, I can see that just in the middle of her nostril. So the eye is supposed to be here, the nostril go a little farther. So all these adjustments we're gonna do, just making relations in what we see, like here. So if I line up, can you see here is the nostril comes right here. Okay. And here it starts her eyes. Okay, now you're gonna just put some more details in her future, using some shadings. You can see that her nose is very dark, this part here. And again, let me see, the distance between her eyes used to be the same size of the eyes. Look, but in her case, this distance between the two eyes is a little shorter. Not so much this distance. So the other eye, the left eye, is supposed to start right here. And let's see the same size for the eyes. Yeah, the same size, supposed to come right here. So you should keep checking if it's in the same level. So we can see all this area is very dark, and here there is some light right here, making a triangle. So as you can see, all this area is in the dark. Okay, there is one more. And her nose supposed to finish here, her nostril. And there is one more light, making another triangle right here. So you're gonna put some light here. So in this stage, we're just blocking the whole portrait. So we just define what is in a shade, what is in a light, and now we're gonna just start working more details to get as closer as possible from the realistic drawing portrait. So sometimes you have to see how darker and how lighter, using different scales of gray, from black to white. We have some middle tones, so we're gonna be working this in this way. So as we can see here, this is darker, here is darker, almost this part, all this, comparing to the eyes. So this is the darkest part of her portrait, her face. So we can do it just putting more shading here with your pencil, and sometimes we can use some blender just to smooth, and also we can use some textures, use the pencil. You don't need to put any pressure in your pencil. And make sure you're not using your wrist, you're using your outstretched arm. Now we can erase all these lines that we use for guide our measures and our proportion. So for now I won't need this line anymore. Just let's go ahead. And for blending, if you have at home some Q-tip, you can use it just to blend and make it smoother. So we can see that the nostril is darker, really darker here. And there is some little shade right here. In the process of shading, we should find out where are the darkest points. So I can see here her nostril. I can see right here under her nose there is a darker point here, and also all this shade right here. So we have to emphasize that and try to keep in the same tone in a gray scale, so as dark as like her eyes here. And I can also see some eyelashes. Okay, that's not important right now. So basically, that's what we have for this portrait. I'm gonna keep working to go to a better finishing. Okay, so we could find out where are the dark spots and needle tones and light, right? And think that the eraser is our friend. We can use it as much as we need to. So until here, so we construct using the system for measurement. We just decide and found out where are the dark part of the face. We just blocking in using some shapes to define the face. And now we're gonna just work in trying to find the details and doing as much as we can to have a nice portrait. can see that we can see some depth, some three-dimensional effect in this portrait. So this is so important to use the shade and different scales of grays and also find out where are the lights and where are the darker shades and tones. So yeah, so this way we're gonna get as close as possible from the real portrait. This is a nice picture that I like to work with, this kind of picture, when they have all this shading. It's nice to work, and also it's normally we have a very nice result. And the way when I'm just drawing like this, holding my pencil this way, so for me to have some more stability and balance and support, I just put my little finger right here and just use the pencil. So this way give me some stability, and it's easier for me to keep working with the pencil. And depends on which place that you hold in a pencil, it gives more lightness. See can be lighter here, or when you want more pressure, you hold more close to the point of the pencil. We can see that this area here is a little darker than this area, so we can work a little more here, and maybe also narrow more her face. Right here, I think it's closer from the real. can see some shade right here in her ear. Because of the angle and the way this photo was taken, you can see that her ear starts right in this level here. But because normally it's supposed to go through the same line of the nose, the bottom nose. But depending on the way that the picture is taken, so you don't align the same level. So I have to make some more changes here because I can see some more shade right here. You need to work a little more in a transition from the darker to the lighter. Now here I put in a little more pressure just because I want it a little darker. So sometimes you have to stop doing what you're doing and step back and check what you need more to work or changes, things like that. So I would say that I have to work a little more in this eye here. Put in some more shades and to make this drawing more convincing. I think I need more dark here. We have some front portrait rules that we have to consider when we are building all your drawing or portrait. So the eyes are halfway down to the head. The edge of the nostrils normally goes line up with the tear duct, like here, the tear duct and the edge of the nostril. Normally they line up. The space between the eyes is approximately the width of an eye, but in this case here is a little less than the same measure of an eye. So, but that's okay. It's I can see that it's close to the original photo. The head is about 5 eyes wide. So normally, if the whole head, I would use 5 times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 eyes wide. The corners of the mouth normally lines up with the pupils of the eyes. So if she was looking just straight here, so we could line up and the pupil would be right here. Okay, so this is normally the measuring of the front portrait. Okay, and as I said, we can blend our shade using different kinds of supplies, like the Q-tip, as I used before. We can also use some brush, so we can just blend using a brush like this. It's normally we use it for to get a better, transition from the darker to the lighter, and work some texture. We can also use the tissue paper like this. So these are things that you have at home, right? And we also have the stamp. If you don't have the stamp, you can use all the supplies I told before. So we can make good change and work well with these stamps. It's very useful also. Okay. Yeah, now what I do is just put my name here, Rosimeire Anjos. And that's it. I hope you enjoy that. Thanks for NORVA Center and the government of Manitoba and Safe at Home grant. And all the viewers watching this video, thank you so much.